boys and girls, we are on language and we are on lesson 154. And what we're gonna do is that we're gonna continue practicing with the direct objects, okay? So if we look on our worksheet on page 274, thing A, it says that we need to underline the verb 2 times, which was what we were doing on the previous lesson, and the subject 1 time. And then we are going to write the direct object in the space that is provided in the line, on the blank. Remember, a direct object, it says that it's a noun or a pronoun. A direct object comes after an action verb. A direct object answers the question what or whom after the subject and the verb. And a direct object can never be in a prepositional phase. So let's do the first 5. So if you look on page 274, on thing A, number 1, it says, I finished my homework before dinner. So let's see, what is the subject? The subject on that sentence is I. What is the verb? The verb is finish, so it should be underlined twice. I finished what? What did I finish? Homework. So homework should be the direct object, and that's what you would write on the space on number 1, homework. Number 2, it says no man can serve 2 masters. So what is the subject on the sentence? The subject is man, that you would underline once. The verb that you are going to underline twice should be can serve. And what does the man cannot serve? It would be masters. So master is what you are going to write on the line. Number 3, the jury could not reach a verdict. What is the subject? Who are we talking about on that sentence? Is jury. So that would be underlined once. What is the verb? Could reach is the verb, so that's going to be underlined twice. And who could not? What could they not? The jury could not reach. Verdict. So verdict is the direct object. Number 4, Amy lost her purse somewhere. Who are we talking about? Amy. Amy is the subject. Lost is the verb. Okay, what did Amy lose? She lost her purse. So purse would be the direct object. And the last one, number 5, I will praise thee, O Lord, among the people. I is the subject, so it's underlined once. Will praise is the verb, that's underlined twice. And thee is the direct object. That is what should be written on the blank space. Okay? So you are going to do that. On page 275, indirect objects. That's what we're going to learn about today. Indirect object is a noun or a pronoun that is located between the action verb and the direct object of a sentence. It tells to whom or for whom or to what or for what the action of the verb is done. So let's look at the example. I sent my mother a birthday card. I is the subject, sent is the verb, card is a direct object. This sentence has an action verb, which is sent, and a direct object, which is card. Does it have an indirect object? Ask, I sent to whom the card? The answer is mother. So mother is the indirect object. Phil gave me a piece of paper. This sentence has an action verb, which is gave, and a direct object, which is piece. Paper is not the direct object of the verb because it is the object of the preposition. Ask Phil gave to whom a piece? The answer is me. So me is the indirect object. An indirect object is really like a prepositional phrase in which the preposition to or for is understood. Stan lent me his bag. I bought myself a new watch. Okay? Think back. Only action verbs have objects. If a sentence does not have an action verb, it will not have a direct or an indirect object. Indirect objects come between the action verb and the direct object. Look for a direct object first, then look to see if it has an indirect object. We are going to work on Think A together, so let me get the projector and put the paper. One moment. Okay, so let's look here. Think A. It says label the action verb as AV, the subject as an S, the direct object as a DO, and the indirect object as an IO. The first one is done for you. So let's look at the first example. It says father bought me a puppy. Father is the subject. What did father do? Bought. So that's the action verb. And what did the father bought? Puppy. Puppy is the direct object. And who did he buy the puppy for? Me. So me is the indirect object. On number 2, mom made me a birthday cake. Who is the subject? That would be mom. Mom is the subject. What did mom do? She made. So made would be the action verb. What did mom make? She made a cake. Cake is the direct object. Who is the cake for that she made? Me. So me would be the indirect object. Okay? Number 3, do you owe him anything? You would be the subject, right? The action verb would be do. And owe, those two are action verbs. In this sentence we have two. Anything is the direct object, and who owes anything? Him. So him would be the indirect object. Number 4, give the dog his dinner. Who is giving the dog his dinner? You. So you is the subject, even though it doesn't tell us here. You. Give would be the, sorry, my hands are in the way. Give would be the action verb. You give, what are you giving the dog? Dinner. So dinner would be the direct object. And you are giving whom the dinner? Dog. So the dog would be the indirect object. Okay? Number 5, bring me your test papers. Who is bringing your test papers? It would be you, right? So you, that's the subject. Bring would be the action verb. Bring me what? Papers. So papers would be the direct object. And who are you bringing the papers to? Me. So me is the indirect object. Okay? Let's go to number 6. I will make myself some lunch. I will be the subject. Will make is the action verb. What am I making? Lunch. So lunch would be the direct object. And for whom is myself. I'm going to make it myself. So that would be the indirect object. Number 7, read me the instructions again. Who am I talking about? You. You read me the instructions. So you is the subject. Read is the action verb. What are you going to read? The instructions. That's the direct object. And who are you going to read to? Me. So me would be the indirect object. Okay? Number 8, tell me the story of Jesus. So who's going to tell me the story of Jesus? That would be you. That's the subject. What are you going to do? Tell. So tell is the action verb. What are you going to tell? The story. So story is the direct object. And who are you telling the story? To me. So me is the indirect object. Number 9, I bought myself a pair of boots. I will be the subject. Bought is the action verb. Pair is the direct object. And myself will be the indirect object. The mockers gave Jesus a crown of thorns. Mockers are the subject. What did they do? They gave, so that's the action verb. What did they give? A crown, so crown would be direct object. To whom? Jesus, so that's the indirect object. Okay? So that's how Think A should look like. Think C, and this is going to be your homework. Think C says, label the action verb, the subject, the direct object, and the indirect object. You are going to do from 1 through 20, and you will be submitting this on Google Classroom with your answers. So I'm gonna need a picture of page 276, Think C. I need a picture of your answers submitted into Google Classroom, and it will be for a grade. So make sure that you complete that. This is all the lesson for today. I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye-bye.